all. Marvin here from Blacktop Banter. Really quick, just wanted to talk about the 800 Pavement Network. As you can see, we have some lettering there, lettering on our other truck over there, lettering on this truck here. They all say 1-800-Blacktop. We've been using the 1-800-Blacktop number here for the last couple of years. It's really been exceptional for us as far as making things click with our branding, and now that we're in another state, those area codes are together. It's worked out fantastically for us. The other thing is that 800 Pavement Network has other advantages. There's group discounts on a lot of the products and materials that we use within our industry. We're part of over 300 different, see that one? Over 300 different contractors that are now using these numbers all over the country. That's combined over $2 billion in gross profits. So if you've been thinking about it or you're curious about it and you're like, well, no, should I or shouldn't I? DM me, message me, or reach out to 800 Pavement Network. You can find them online through their website. You can call 1-800-Pavement and you'll get them as well. They'd be happy to run you through kind of the advantages and everything else that we've been taking advantage of here at Wiscote and Dubuque Asphalt Maintenance, and how it can benefit you as well. Once again, if you're curious about it at all, you can always DM me. So yeah, 1-800-Blacktop. You can DM me or message me or email me through the podcast or Wiscote or wherever as well. I would love to talk to you about how it has helped us. Hey everybody, welcome back. It's another episode of Blacktop Banter. This is episode 94, and we are very close and on the heels of National Pavement Expo here this January. And what I really wanted to do is bring forward one of my friends, been friends throughout the years. We've really got a lot closer lately and had some great conversations. And I thought it'd be great to talk about a staple at National Pavement Expo and in our industry through the years. So I invited Mike Musto. Mike, you want to kind of introduce yourself to the listenership?
Sure. Well, thanks, Marvin. It's always been a pleasure working with you and talking to you over the years as well. So, hi, everybody. I'm Mike Musto. I am the president of U.S. Pavement Services, and I'm also the founder of the 800 Pavement Network. So, you know, we talk about these numbers, and at the show, licensing phone numbers to pavement contractors throughout the country. But I'm not just a numbers guy. I've been in the industry since 1985.
Yeah.
So this past season was my 38th year in business. So I've lived it, breathed it. My family has done the same. So I know it in and out. I've made a lot of mistakes. I never make the same mistake 3 times. Sometimes I've done it twice, but never 3 times. So I can give a lot of advice that way. I've grown my company in the pavement industry, started out by seal coating way back in 1985, kind of from scratch. Did a lot of cold calling to get my business going, and it took off over the years, and started paving in-house and line painting in-house in 1994. Realizing that I didn't want to subcontract those services, so we started going after it ourselves, and so that's what we did. My best marketing move was acquiring the phone number 1-800-Pavement, as you can see on trucks, and that happened in 2005. So after being in business for 20 years, I completely rebranded my company to focus on this phone number by putting 12-foot long signs on the sides of my trucks. There's 5-foot long signs on the back of the scuttles. We have them on job signs everywhere, printed literature. But the bottom line is people see it and remember it. And my trucks are like billboards driving the roads full time. So people can see, as you can see this phone number from a half mile away. And people remember it, and so it's not just it's not just an advertisement. It's an actual branding tool that gets you business. And it also gives you more credibility. because it makes you look, it tells people who you are, what you do, and how to reach you. So if you're paving or you're seal coating a parking lot and you have a job sign up, someone drives by, sees the job sign, they don't need to write down the number like a normal numerical number. They see the phone number and remember it, and you automatically get put on their bid list, particularly if they see it twice, 3 times, 4 times, because you're going to be driving trucks down the roadway with these billboards. So after realizing how successful the phone number was for us, and our call volumes tripled within a few years of having this number. But we started, I acquired other phone numbers in the industry, and those include 1-800-SEALCOAT, 1-800-ASPHALT, 1-800-DRIVEWAY, 1-800-BLACKTOP, 888-PAVEMENT, 1-800-STRIPING, and there's some others as well. And I started licensing them to pavement contractors throughout the country by area code. So as you know, Marvin is a perfect example. And Marvin has 1-800-SEALCOAT. Is it Sealcoat, Marvin?
We have 1-800-Blacktop, I think.
1-800-Blacktop.
And we have one
in the Wisconsin market. So anyone who calls from that market, which is the 608 area code, the call goes directly to Marvin. And that's basically how it works. You pick a number in your market, you'd have it exclusively, and you market it yourself by branding your trucks and your job signs.
Correct.
So again, so people see it, they remember it, and it gets you work.
Yeah, it's worked out really well for us branding it through social media as well, right? I mean, it's really easy. You let's say you're on the job site, you make a video and you just say call 1-800-Blacktop, and it creates top of mind awareness, which is what everybody wants for branding nowadays, right? It's top of mind awareness. And there you're right. And you're like, well, yeah, I've seen a company, can't quite remember what the sign on the truck said, but I remember that big number. And it's 1-800-Blacktop. And they call us and get a hold of us. Yeah, we seen you at the parking lot over on so-and-so. We're wondering if you can give us a bid.
Well, that is the whole goal of it. So, you know, I've got over 200 contractors using the phone numbers throughout the country by area code. And many of them have greatly increased their sales and their businesses over the years. So we're proud of that. We've also subcontracted significant amount of national account work through their numbers. And what we've done is acquired a lot of national accounts and are using our network members that license our phone numbers as subcontractors. So if we have work in your market, there's a great chance that you will get the work from us. So we've done that to the tune over the years of over $150 million in work to our network. So, and you know, I'm also available if there's questions or you know, mentoring type thing, which I love to do because I've been there, done that, and that's how it's happened over the years.
Yeah, it's worked out really well, I think, because there's not very many brands or companies that are inclusive in that regard, right? Because there's discounts that we've used to take advantage of through the network as well. There's also the resources that we have of you and your team, right? If there's any questions or anything. And then there's also kind of, so I have a good friend, Jason at Florida Sealcoating, who uses one of the numbers, right? And you kind of create a synergy between the members as well, to where they have something in common right away. It allows you to create network between them right away as well. And I'll see Jason brand it one way and I'll be like, oh, that's a great idea. I should have done that. I'm going to do that. You know what I mean? And it works out really well that way too.
Jason's a star, and he markets 1-800-SEALCOAT.
Yeah, he does really, really good.
Yeah. So
yeah,
so we've got quite a few contractors. In fact, one of them last year was Contractor of the Year, and it is Surface Masters.
Oh yeah.
and Justin Meyer.
Yeah.
And he started out with the number just line painting. And he's got 888 pavement, and started with line painting, and he blew up his business. He's paving. He's got a few paving machines now. I believe he also got a reclaimer. He just recently, and he was the #1 contractor last year at the NPE.
Yeah, you see a lot of people that and a lot of companies that make strides in their areas, their zip codes, wherever they are, using the numbers and the network as a great branding tool, right? It just helps, and we make it all around. I mean, we at Wisco, we were friends and seen each other for probably 5 years, Mike, before we got our number acquired, and it was the final piece, I think, that really helped us solidify our brand all the way together, and we've grown exponentially even since then, since we've had it now for a few years. So to make everything complete, I think it's almost an essential tool, especially you think about the way people contact everybody nowadays. Yes, it does go through Google or email or that type of stuff, but they still call by phone as well. This seems kind of counterproductive to put a number on your truck that no one can remember. When you've done a great job of building your company, or you're starting to build a company, why not just start out with something easy to remember that they can just call and get a hold of you? Why miss the chance of them calling? It just doesn't make sense.
Right. And I've had contractors that initially, and some of them still have their name, but they named the company after the phone number. For instance, there's a company in Alaska who has 1-800-ASPHALT, and the company name is 1-800-ASPHALT LLC.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Makes it easy. So it tells people who you are, what you do, how to reach you.
Yeah, it's a good idea for people starting out.
There's a couple others that have done that, but that just really takes it and makes it a branding tool by making it the name of your company.
Yeah, it creates that top of mind awareness. I mean, when I think about when we first started to meet at the National Pavement Expos, which we can kind of jump to next, going even by the 800 Network booth created top of mind awareness to where when after you leave the show, you don't forget that the 800 Network exists, because it creates a unique thing right there. The 800 Network has been a staple since I've been attending NPE, and has been ever since you guys have been there. And I always enjoy the fact that it's one of the more outgoing, energetic booths. You can always find you in between the booths looking to talk to people and communicate and start a relationship and network. And as I said, you and I talked to each other 3 or 4 years in a row before I finally was like, all right, I'm going to go forward and get a number. I never felt pressured or anything. I just always felt like this is a great opportunity. The timing is going to be right, and we're going to take care of it. Can we kind of talk about that a little bit throughout the years, how 800 Network has been there and been a staple through National Pavement Expo?
Yeah, we started, I'm trying to think what year, I believe it was 2006 or 2007 that we started at the NPE. And that's how we really catapulted the phone numbers. And everything's kind of morphed into each other, getting the phone numbers, giving out national account work. Because we have these contractors in all these different markets, we're able to do work throughout the country. And because of that, I grew my company to 65 million in total sales in 2022.
Yeah.
It took 38 years to do it, but yeah, I mean, we grew it, and it all kind of was morphed from the phone numbers. But the NPE has been a great source for us. I know through COVID, it was, when we didn't have meetings, things were kind of shut down and didn't happen. But over the years, it's been a great source for us. It's a great place to meet people and to meet other contractors that do the same thing that you do. And they're not your unfriendly competitors.
Right.
And it's great to learn from others and talk to others and see what they do and what you do, how you market, how they market, what kind of equipment is everybody using, and so forth. And that's the kind of things that I like to talk about, at the show. A lot of the network members are coming to me and asking me different questions from what do you think about getting a reclaimer? Like Justin, he calls me, honestly, he's calling me less and less because he's he's taken it to a different level.
Yeah.
But he called me about his reclaimer, and he made the move.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of things that, you know, I love to do. A lot of the network members come up to me, ask me questions like that, including financial questions, which is super important, that a lot of contractors don't take into account, is the value of your company and how to make it worth more money. And that should be like the main focus. It's not all about just getting revenue and doing as much work as you can. You need to make sure that your work is profitable.
Correct.
And that you're making money. And in this industry, it's great money.
Yeah.
Because this industry, and that's the one thing I know, Marvin, when you were in Boston, we talked about, this industry is not going anywhere.
Right.
And the NPE is a great way to support your industry.
Yes.
And it's an industry where you can make a lot of money, have a good living. You know, in the winter, you can kind of, you know, settle back a bit, and kind of regroup before you go at it again. So that's a nice reprieve. But the bottom line is, it's a good industry for you, your employees. You know, I have employees that have been with me for more than 20 years, and I'm proud of the fact that they're buying homes. You know, they're having families, and it's since they've been with us because they made a lot of money. Working in this industry.
Yeah, they're proud to work there.
That's another key thing, is, you know, taking care of and keeping the right people.
Yeah. I mean, when I went out and visited, you know, they're happy to be there, and you know, they have pride in what they do and where they work for, and the brand in itself and everything that they work for. And it kind of, you know, I think that you have done a great job there at US of creating that small community, that family community. And to be honest with you, you know, before social media community started to exist, the network was the community there too as well. Like, it was its own community inside the asphalt community. One thing that I think the network has done really well throughout the years is stayed with and navigated with the community as it growed and as things adapted over the years. And one of those is really prevalent in the social media presence. The network partnering with us, right? I mean, we're kind of going to bring something very cool this year, where our Blacktop Banter booth will be in the US Pavement booth area and booth space, which brings a lot of community together in one spot. People are going to be excited. I'm always excited to visit the 800 network booth. Now I get to be there quite a bit while we're there. We get to talk, we get to interact with everybody, talk about the numbers and what they've done for us, but also, like you were just relating to, talk to the issues that some of these guys are having, whether they're a striping company or a seal coating company, and how we can help them brand better, get more leads, and create more revenue to create a business where their employees feel like this is family and something we can be proud of.
I totally agree with you. And I think one important thing, you know, we're definitely doing social media. But as you know, Marvin, I'm you know, after being in 38 years, I'm the old school side of the pavement industry. And, you know, and I see Marvin as the new school in the social medias. That's why I think that we kind of hit it off together so easily. It is because it's where, you know, our friendship is where the new school meets the old school.
Yeah, I mean,
or the other way around, I guess.
Yeah.
So I mean, when I started, you know, it was like, you know, back in 1985, it was like prehistoric times. As far as there wasn't any cell phones. I didn't have any cell phones, so the only way you can get your messages is you either go into a phone booth, like Superman, and call your office, or you wait till you get home at night, and then that's when you get your messages. There wasn't even fax machines. Okay. So I got my first cell phone in 1986, and it was the G.I. Joe version.
Yeah, the big box one.
Yeah. It was drop calls all the time, but I thought it was incredible. My first month, I paid $1,500 for the service.
Ooh-wee.
But I saw it as, this is great.
Yeah, necessary.
It was worth every penny. And then fax machines, we could send a proposal. we didn't have to mail or FedEx a proposal. We could actually fax it.
Yeah.
So 87, I got my computer, started getting into the real world back then. But, you know, the one thing that hasn't changed is how you do the work,
Right.
how you schedule the work.
Yep.
So, you know, you have all this technology, but the, you know, the way work is done is the same. The types, you know, there's improvements on machinery and so forth, and on materials, but you know, the bottom line is things haven't changed in the industry as far as how to do the work.
No, and
It's
you
just
can
easy
still
ways.
get
You know how many measurements, you know how many places by hand I measured over the years?
I can't imagine.
Thousands. Thousands.
I can imagine.
90-degree weather, I'd be out there measuring parking lots. Now it's all done by, you know, by Google Maps, or
That's right,
or
Google
whatever.
Maps or whatever software you're using. I mean, even connecting with people now, you just bump your phone together and you have all their contact info. You have everything there is that you need. And they're like, yeah, I'll call you. I actually just put a reminder in my phone to call you tomorrow at 3 o'clock. It's like, well,
Yeah.
we didn't write anything down on pen or paper. We didn't write it on our hands. Like, no one had to talk to anybody else to schedule it.
We did. I had my list every day. At night, I'd write a list and I'd number them, what I had to do the next day. And that was how, and it was a Rolodex.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, people still say,
you
know, in your Rolodex, it's just that your Rolodex is in your contacts now, you know, with your phone and whatnot. But yeah, I think it's, you know, it's a great blend. We've loved working with the 800 Pavement Network because we believe that what the network offers is very important and very important in branding. And you know me, I'm all about branding and being top of mind. And it's very hard to get an advantage in that in a clouded market or any of those things. And you're able to use a tool like the network and the number to carve a huge part of the branding problem out of the main scheme and add it to what you do. So as we stated, it's not going anywhere. The industry isn't going anywhere. The community apparently isn't going anywhere. It just keeps growing and growing as we've come to find out here at Blacktop Banter. And we enjoy the fact that we're able to bring what we do here very well to the industry with partners like the 800 network, to our community, right? I mean, like I said, I didn't never feel any pressure at all to buy a number or that I was going to miss out or anything like that. I was able to use my own mind to determine, yeah, this is a great tool. This is a great branding tool. I think I'm going to go ahead and jump in. And once we did, we were able to use it and add it. And, you know, it's just one of those things where it's part of the community. There's a few brands within the industry that you and I both know that are staple brands, whether they're manufacturers or marketing or whatever. And they have the knowledge, the experience, and the advantage of being able to bring that to you to help you out if you're a contractor in the industry. And the nicest thing is we all get to bring it together at NPE and really go over it and sit down, have a talk. And even if they don't have a number, we've still created a relationship that can live on through years through the industry, because we're not going anywhere.
I like it.
Yeah, I think so. This year as well, I want to touch on before we leave, we are doing the Blacktop Banter podcast live. We had planned on doing it in 2020, I think, at NPE, and it didn't happen, right? We had COVID and those types of problems. But this year we're doing it live. We're doing it with some of the content team here at Blacktop Banter and some of the members. And that is also sponsored by the 800 Network. So they were able to help us out with that. And Emerald, who hosts the expo, was like, well, we think it's a great idea. We'd love to have you up there. So we're excited for that. We're excited for this partnership, the community, the 800 Network diving in and being a presence in the community and giving back to the community by being able to provide stuff like the podcast live on stage, us being there at the booth, the Blacktop Banner kickoff event, which they're one of the prime sponsors for. That event on Tuesday night, Mike, is like, I don't think that I got a big enough venue. Like there's like it's at the Public House, which is just a block from the convention center. We went there last time, and on a whim, I think like we were talking about now with our phones, our Rolodex, I was able to send out a text of, hey, we're going to be here in 30 minutes. When I got there, there were probably 60 people there already. So I was like, oh, this is going to be a great place. We'll be able to do it. We rented the venue out, and the amount of messages that we've got of people coming in on Tuesday night to attend the event is amazing to me. So I'm very excited for that. We have some great, some great sponsors and friends of partners that are with the 800 Network as well that are going to be there. And it's really going to be a great event. We're giving away $15,000 worth of equipment, software, coaching, cash, like anything. So it's going to be very exciting for contractors that attend the event. And once again, 800 Network being a partner and sponsor of that, I don't know that we'd be able to pull something like this off. So I'm very excited for that, as the community gets to see it and we get to give back to the community as marquee people in the industry. So I'm excited for it. They have great food too. I know you and I like to snack
Excellent.
a little bit, so they have great food too. It'll be a good time.
That sounds great. Sounds great. I just want to say, if anyone wants to reach out to me directly, you can go online, 1-800-pavement.com. No hyphens, but 1-800-pavement.com. You can fill out a contact form. I'll respond and I'll give you a call, or you can call me direct. You can call 1-800-pavement and ask for me. Or my cell direct is 781-858-1788.
Cool.
If you have any questions, mentoring, whether you buy a number or not, I like to help people in this industry. So
we really appreciate that. It's nice to have your knowledge and that resource for us going out. There's not too many companies that we work with where you're going to get somebody of your caliber of reputation and experience to interact personally with us. So everybody wants to skip the problems and the issues and not fumble through the mistakes 3 times, like you were saying. So if we can shortcut that, it allows us to get to a successful plateau a lot easier and a lot faster too. The other way, to follow along with the 800 Pavement Network is at 800 Pavement Network on Instagram. You can also find it on LinkedIn. You can follow them there. And of course, on Facebook, you can follow them there as well. And you can kind of keep up with some of the advantages and where they're at and what's going on too as well. And also, we like to make content via the 800 Pavement Network at Blacktop Banter as well. And we're excited for it. I think this is going to be a great time, a great year. And we really appreciate you being on, Mike, for today.
Well, thanks, Marvin. I appreciate you having me on. I'm looking forward to seeing you at the NPE as well as everybody else out there.
Yeah.
Come on down and support your industry and show up in Charlotte.
Alrighty. Well, for myself and for Mike Musto at 800 Pavement Network, this has been Blacktop Banter. And as always, we speak asphalt.